straight liner anymore. So our crews are going to be fixing this inside, but so what our plan is to just go ahead and fill this whole area upstream so that water can't pool back there anymore. And it really is kind of as simple as that. At the upper end of where the fill area is going to be, there will be a cutoff wall put in. Right now we've got that drawn to about 10 feet deep, 1.5 to 1 slopes, and then 10 or 5 feet across the bottom.
That's part of the job.
That's part of the job. Yeah.
There's no select material, right?
What's
going
that?
back? There's no select material going back in the cutoff.
The cutoff is, so what you'll do is you'll dig the material out and just put it over here on the side, kind of in this fill area, so it's not really going to have to get hauled anywhere. And then go ahead and haul the borrow material down and compact it into the cutoff area so that it's the same. Essentially, it's all going to be one
material.
Monolithic slab here, but the cutoff wall will be part of that. The fences, so whoever gets a job, part of your job will be to take out enough of this fence to do the work, and then put the fence back kind of like you see it now. Obviously it'll be a linked issue, but we'll just use the same number of panels going back in, and however the fence sort of comes out the line, that'll be it. You know, it'll change a little bit just because you raise it up. But the barbed wire fence in the back belongs to the landowner that owns this property to the north of us, and I got a deal worked out with him. He's going to tear that out and then put it back in when the project's done. So you don't have to worry about the barbed wire fence at all. There has been cattle up here. I don't know what the situation is exactly right now. I'm trying to get together with him this week, but regardless, if there is, and we have to fence around this to keep cattle out of the work zone, that'll be on our crews. So you guys don't have to worry about that at all. Let's see here. Leave notes.
Is there going to be anything, Wayne, on the frost? Because obviously we're going to be adding material while it's freezing. Is there going to be an issue with placing on top of frozen material?
Possibly. We'll just have to deal with that when the time comes, I guess.
Okay.
I don't have anything written up.
Yeah, we're not going to have to try to skim off the frozen layer.
Well,
because at that point you start freezing 2-3 inches, and shit, you got a pile that's 25,000 yards laying here, chunks of frozen stuff.
I'm honestly hoping we won't have to deal with that.
Okay.
But I guess if it comes to that, we'll just have to do a change order or something to deal with it.
Okay.
So I don't have anything written up right now, unless I come up with something to send out as an addendum or something between now and the end of the week. The strippings, so what we did when on the strippings is we figured just a foot taken off over the whole area that's going to be filled. Essentially, that's where we came up with our quantity.
That's the 6,700 yards.
Yeah. No, well, is it 6? Is that the number? Yeah, no, you're right. 6,700.
Because that acted like you were taking the topsoil off of the borrow site.
No, that's not the borrow site. That's just this site here
Fill
in the
site,
bottom.
okay.
Yeah. And the fences. So the strippings that you do take off. So there's a drainage that's on the other side of that chain link fence that runs up to the top of the hill where the borrow site is. And so what we're figuring is you can take those strippings and use them to sort of cover over the riprap that's up in that drainage to make a decent haul road out of it. It's already wide enough you could run a scraper on it without doing anything, I think, but probably be a little hard on your tires as it sits. And so whatever it would take just to make a road out of it. And then alongside of that, and you'll see it when you get up there, and you guys can walk it if you want, but there is a road just on the other side of that fence that you can drive a pickup right alongside the drain all the way to the bottom here. It's just, I don't think it's wide enough to run a scraper balls out. But, you know, it'll be up to you guys to just kind of fix that up so that you can run your traffic in both directions the way you'd want to. I think there's plenty of room to do it. Just
The
a matter of-
drainage got to go back in then when you're back to how it is now?
Yeah, needs to be put back. Essentially, if all you do is put strippings on the rock and then kind of fix up this bottom where you kind of transition onto the road, all we need is just have the strippings kind of dipped out down to the rock. You don't have to like sweep it or anything. We just want the drain to work like it does now, essentially. I don't know if it's ever going to see water. The first water it saw was when we were irrigating up there, and we were over irrigating, and it was coming down here. But it's always been dry. So you can see the riprap in here in the bottom. That'll have to be dug out and then filled with compacted material back in, and then that needs to be saved, set off the side somehow, and then. If you look on the drawings, you'll see where it says to place a riprap along the sides of the channel. And that's what we're talking about, that riprap there, that material. And so we'll just use that, what we have of it. I think it's on the last drawing. It shows it. It's kind of like, yeah, just right along the edges of the channel. It's going to get created. So there's going to be like a 30-foot wide channel. So you'll fill it with like a 75-to-1 slope going back up the hill, 25-to-1 side slopes. And then there's a center portion about 30 feet wide that's set down a little bit, sort of a channel within this channel. And then that's what we're trying to protect, is that's going to have 3-to-1 side slopes on it. So that's where this riprap would go. So, that makes sense to everybody? Yeah, I got dust control on here. I don't know if that's going to come into play at all, but it's up to you guys to keep dust under control if you need to. I don't think there's any real worries with clean air up here, but I got it in here as a line item in case you need it. Yeah, I think that's the basics right here. You guys got any questions at all?
If we need water for compaction, you guys will supply it out of the canal.
No. Well, we will until
Till
about
it's dry?
October 20th. So about the time work starts, that canal's going to be going dry. And
So that's up to us?
We can't hold water in it. So, and then this will be dry here within the next couple 3 weeks, because we're going to draw this down and do a inspection here. Yeah, we might as well talk about, so the borrow side up there, I had them, the neighbors were gracious enough to put a wheel line up there and run that thing back and forth across it. And we irrigated that for about a month. And I just had them shut it off here 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less. And then these moistures that I got, that's when those were taken right at the end of that. So I don't know, we'll go up there today and see, but I'm thinking that it ain't gonna take much water, if any, to make this work. I mean, if these numbers hold, what I was planning on doing is, we think it's getting a little bit dry. I'm just gonna have the farmer turn that irrigation line back on and run water until we get somebody out here. But I don't want to get so saturated you can't get in there and use it. So.
How big is that footprint?
Oh shit! I forgot how many acres that is. Steve, you remember how many acres that is up there? Yeah, it's like 5 acres or so. What I figured is it's going to take about 7 foot off the top of it to get all the material that's coming out. You just pick it, use that whole area. Kind of within the fences up there. So, yeah, so if you gotta haul water, the best bet would be to work out something with the neighbor next door here. He does have ponds on the other side up here, and there's water in those usually during the winter time. Probably enough if, you know, the guy did have to add some water that you could probably pull out of that, and I'm sure he'd let you do it. He's gracious enough to just put his irrigation line out there. So, with that, I guess, if there ain't any questions, what I want to do is go ahead and drive up there. Probably the best thing to do, I guess, is just turn around, go to the bottom, and then there's a road that goes to the top of the hill. We can all just go up. I can lead the way if you want. And it's just up on top up there.
There's an excavator up there right now.
There's an excavator waiting to dig a hole, so you guys can play in the dirt and see what it feels like.
Does Brent still own that pond?
Yeah, Olympic Fruit. Yeah, and he was the one that got things going up there. So. All right, if there ain't any questions, we'll head up there. Oh, yep.
Wayne, you got an extra set of plans?
I do.
Since I had such short notice on this thing.
Well, here, I got two of these here.
Isn't that one there?
Oh yeah, that's another